Okay, so have you ever like stumbled on a book?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
totally. Like finding a hidden treasure in like a dusty old bookstore.
Yes, that's
Uh,
exactly how I felt about Your Hidden Genius by Betsy Wills and Alex Ellison.
I actually just finished it.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I have to say it was like way more insightful than I expected.
Right. It's not just another self-help book,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It really dives deep into like the science of aptitudes,
Yeah.
like those natural talents we're all born with
Uh-huh.
and how they can like shape our lives,
Yeah.
especially our careers.
It's so fascinating how the book connects these aptitudes to real-world examples.
Oh, totally.
Like, remember that anecdote about the firefighter who uses spatial visualization
Yeah.
to navigate burning buildings?
Nicole McGowan.
Yes.
Talk about a high-pressure situation
I know.
where understanding your strengths can literally be a lifesaver.
Right.
It really brings the concept to life.
Absolutely. It's not just abstract theory. The book makes it clear that these aptitudes
Yeah.
have tangible, real-world implications.
Yeah, and it's not just about finding the perfect job either. It's about understanding how your brain works best
Uh-huh.
and then creating a life that fits,
Totally.
which is something I think we can all relate to.
Yeah, we've all had those moments where we feel like we're swimming upstream,
Yes.
trying to force ourselves into a mold that just doesn't fit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where this book comes in.
Right.
It's like a user manual for your own brain,
Totally.
helping you decode your strengths and create a life that aligns with who you are.
One of the things that really struck me was the book's exploration of those hidden opportunities
Oh, yeah.
to exercise our aptitudes, even outside of our main jobs.
I see.
It's about finding those activities that make you lose track of time
Yes.
because you're so absorbed in what you're doing.
The book calls them work and leisure activities.
Yes.
It could be anything from taking an online course to volunteering for a project at work,
Yeah.
or even just picking up a new hobby.
The point is that these activities can be incredibly valuable
Yeah.
for nurturing your aptitudes,
Right.
helping you become even more skilled
Yeah.
and engaged in what you're naturally good at.
It's almost like a mental workout
Right.
for your brain,
Mm-hmm.
strengthening those natural talents and discovering new ones you might not even know you had.
And it all starts with understanding those core aptitudes.
Okay.
The book identifies 4 key ones:
Okay.
spatial visualization,
Okay.
idea generation,
Yeah.
inductive reasoning,
Okay.
and sequential reasoning.
Okay. Let's unpack those a bit.
Sure.
I'm already curious about where I might fall on each of them.
Well, spatial visualization is all about your brain's ability to mentally manipulate 3D objects.
I see.
It's like having that internal GPS that lets you visualize spaces,
Yeah.
rotate images in your mind,
Uh-huh.
and even predict how things will fit together.
So it's like those people who can walk into a room and instantly redecorate it in their heads.
Exactly.
Like they can see the potential in a space,
Mhm.
envision how furniture will fit,
Mm-hmm.
and even anticipate how light will play off different surfaces.
Yeah.
And this aptitude is crucial for so many fields, right?
Absolutely.
Architecture, engineering,
Mm-hmm.
even surgery.
The book gives some amazing examples
Oh.
of how spatial visualization plays out in real life. Like McKenna Haas, the race car driver,
Yeah.
she uses it to navigate the track at incredibly high speeds,
Right.
anticipating turns and maneuvering around obstacles.
Yeah, it's like she has a built-in racing simulator in her brain.
Totally. And then there's Nicole McGowan, the firefighter we mentioned earlier.
Right.
She relies on spatial visualization to mentally map out burning buildings
Uh-huh.
and anticipate how fire and smoke will spread.
Yeah, talk about a high-stakes situation.
Yeah, right now.
Where understanding your spatial visualization skills can literally be the difference between life and death. It really underscores the power of knowing your strengths.
It really does. And it's not just about professional success either.
Right.
Spatial visualization can make everyday tasks easier too,
Oh, yeah.
like parallel parking, assembling furniture, or
Mhm.
even navigating a new city.
Okay, so now I'm wondering how someone who might not be naturally gifted in spatial visualization
Yeah.
can develop this skill.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the book actually addresses that.
Oh, okay.
It emphasizes that our aptitudes are not fixed traits.
Okay.
They can be developed and strengthened over time.
So it's like a muscle.
Uh-huh.
The more you use it, the stronger it becomes.
Exactly. And the book provides some really practical advice
Okay.
on how to nurture any aptitude,
Uh-huh.
including spatial visualization,
I see.
things like playing 3D puzzles, building models,
Okay.
or even just taking a different route on your daily walk can help strengthen those spatial reasoning skills.
It's about challenging your brain to think in new ways,
Mm.
to see the world from different perspectives, and
Yeah.
to actively engage with your surroundings.
Right.
I love it.
And that brings us to the next aptitude, idea generation.
Okay.
This one's all about creativity, innovation,
Right.
and the ability to come up with new solutions and concepts.
Okay, now this is one I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
Some people just seem to be overflowing with ideas,
Uh-huh.
while others struggle to come up with even one.
Right. The book actually distinguishes between two types of idea generators,
Oh, interesting.
brainstormers
Okay.
and concentrated focusers.
Tell me more about that.
Well, brainstormers are those folks who are like idea fountains,
Okay.
constantly bubbling over with new concepts and possibilities.
I see.
They thrive in brainstorming sessions, love to think outside the box,
Yeah.
and are always challenging the status quo.
Like Simone Gertz, the inventor we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
She's always coming up with these wacky and innovative inventions.
She's a classic brainstormer, constantly experimenting and pushing the boundaries of creativity.
Right.
But the book also acknowledges that not everyone is wired to be an idea machine.
So what about those of us who are a bit more, let's say, idea challenged?
Well, that's where the concentrated focusers come in.
Okay.
They might generate ideas more slowly,
Mm-hmm.
but they're incredibly skilled at refining, analyzing, and implementing those ideas.
So it's not about the quantity of ideas you have,
Right.
but the quality and the ability to bring them to life.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that both approaches are valuable.
Okay.
In fact, teams that include both brainstormers and concentrated focusers can be incredibly effective,
Yeah.
balancing each other's strengths.
It's like having the spark of inspiration combined with the focused execution.
Right?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So are these idea generation abilities fixed, or can they be developed?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because honestly, I could use a little boost in that department.
The book is really encouraging in this area. It emphasizes that our aptitudes, including idea generation, are not set in stone.
Okay.
They can be nurtured and strengthened through practice and deliberate effort.
So even if you don't consider yourself a naturally creative person,
Right.
you can still develop your idea generation skills.
Absolutely. And the book offers some great tips on how to do that.
Okay, like what?
Things like exposing yourself to new experiences, practicing brainstorming techniques,
Okay.
and even just giving yourself permission to be more playful and curious
Yeah.
can all help boost your creative thinking.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right.
Because who wouldn't want to be a little more creative? It's such a valuable skill in every aspect of life.
It is. And it's not just about coming up with the next $1 million invention.
Right.
It's about problem solving, thinking outside the box, and finding creative solutions to everyday challenges.
All right, so we've covered spatial visualization and idea generation. What about those other two aptitudes? Inductive reasoning and sequential reasoning.
Well, inductive reasoning is like being a detective for your brain.
Okay.
It's the ability to connect the dots,
Yeah.
to see patterns, and draw conclusions from limited information.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
Right.
Like those crime dramas where they're piecing together clues and anticipating the criminal's next move.
Exactly. And this aptitude is crucial in so many fields.
Oh, yeah.
From science and medicine to law and finance.
It's about being able to see those hidden connections that others might miss.
Right.
And to use that insight to solve problems and make informed decisions.
Absolutely. The book actually highlights a perfect example of inductive reasoning in action.
Okay, who?
Stanislav Petrov, the Soviet officer who averted nuclear war back in the 1980s.
Oh, I remember reading about him. He was the one who noticed inconsistencies in the early warning system
Right.
and correctly identified a potential missile attack as a false alarm.
Exactly. His ability to analyze the situation, trust his gut, and make a critical judgment call under immense pressure saved countless lives.
Talk about a powerful example of inductive reasoning in action.
Right. It really highlights the importance of this aptitude, not just in specialized professions,
Right.
but also in navigating the complexities of everyday life.
So how do we know if we're strong in inductive reasoning
Yeah.
or if it's something we need to work on?
Well, the book suggests paying attention to how you approach problem solving and decision making.
Okay.
Do you tend to see patterns easily?
Uh-huh.
Are you good at connecting seemingly unrelated pieces of information? Do you trust your intuition?
Those are all great questions to reflect on.
Right.
And if we realize we're not as strong in inductive reasoning as we'd like to be, are there ways to develop this aptitude?
Absolutely. The book emphasizes that our aptitudes are not static.
Okay.
They can be strengthened and honed through practice and deliberate effort.
So how can we flex our inductive reasoning muscles, so to speak?
There are several ways to do that. Engaging in activities that challenge your analytical thinking skills,
Uh-huh.
like playing strategy games, solving logic puzzles,
Okay.
or even just having thought-provoking conversations can all help.
It's about stimulating your brain to think critically, to look for patterns,
Yeah.
and to draw conclusions based on the available evidence.
Right. And the more you practice, the more intuitive it becomes.
Okay.
It's like training your brain to become a master detective.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what about the last aptitude, sequential reasoning?
Okay.
What's that all about?
Sequential reasoning is all about logic order
Okay.
and the ability to create systems and processes.
So these are the folks who thrive on structure and predictability,
Uh-huh.
the ones who love making to-do lists and color-coding their calendars.
Exactly. They're the masters of planning, organization, and execution.
Okay.
They excel at breaking down complex tasks into manageable steps,
Yeah.
creating a logical flow that leads to efficient outcomes.
I can definitely see how this aptitude would be valuable in a wide range of professions,
Right.
like project management, engineering, or even law.
Absolutely. The book highlights Ben Day, a merchant marine ship captain,
Okay.
as a great example of sequential reasoning in action.
He's the one who has to think 3 steps ahead to navigate those massive cargo ships across the ocean, right?
Exactly.
Talk about a job that requires meticulous planning and a knack for anticipating potential problems.
Right. And it's not just about navigating literal ships.
Oh, yeah?
Sequential reasoning can also help us navigate the complexities of everyday life.
Like creating a budget,
Yeah.
planning a trip,
Mhm.
or even just organizing your day so you can get everything done.
Precisely. And the book encourages readers to find ways to nurture this aptitude,
Right.
even if they don't work in a highly structured field.
So how can someone who might not be naturally inclined towards order and systems
Yeah.
develop their sequential reasoning skills?
That's a great question, and the book offers some really practical tips.
Okay, like what?
Things like learning a new language, taking a coding class, or
Mhm.
even just playing strategy games can help strengthen those sequential reasoning muscles.
So it's about challenging your brain to think in a more linear and logical way,
Right.
to break down tasks into smaller steps,
Uh-huh.
and to create systems that help you achieve your goals more efficiently.
Exactly. And even if you're not a natural-born planner,
Yeah.
developing these skills can make a huge difference in your productivity and overall well-being.
I'm starting to see how understanding these core 4 aptitudes can be so valuable.
Right.
It's like having a roadmap to your own brain,
Uh-huh.
helping you navigate your strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. And it's not just about fitting yourself into a predetermined box
No.
or limiting your career options.
It's about using this knowledge to make more informed decisions about your life,
Uh-huh.
your career, and your personal pursuits.
Right. And to make it even more personalized,
Okay.
the book also introduces the concept of amplifiers.
Okay, what are those?
Think of them as those extra boosts that enhance your core aptitudes.
Okay, so these amplifiers are like the special skills that build on those core foundations.
Exactly. Things like visual comparison speed,
Okay.
numerical reasoning, and even tonal memory.
Now, those sound intriguing.
Right.
Tell me more about them.
Well, visual comparison speed is all about being able to quickly and accurately spot differences between images or patterns.
So those folks who are amazing at spot the difference puzzles,
Uh-huh.
or who can catch those tiny typos that everyone else misses.
Exactly.
Wow.
They're the detail-oriented folks who excel at tasks that require visual precision and accuracy.
And I imagine this aptitude would be incredibly valuable in fields like editing, proofreading, or even data analysis.
Absolutely. They're the unsung heroes of the written word and the data-driven world. And then there's numerical reasoning.
Okay, so that one's got to be all about being good at math, right?
Well, it's definitely related to math, but it's more about being able to understand and apply numerical data
All right.
to solve problems and make decisions.
So those people who can easily crunch numbers, analyze financial reports, or interpret complex data sets.
Exactly. They're the folks who can see the story behind the numbers and use that insight to make informed decisions.
I could definitely see how that would be valuable in a wide range of professions.
Absolutely.
From finance and accounting to science and research.
Uh-huh. And then there are the more specialized amplifiers,
Okay.
like tonal memory and rhythm memory.
Now, those sound like they're more for musicians, right?
Well, they're definitely crucial for anyone working with music,
Yeah.
but they can also show up in other ways.
Yeah, okay.
Someone with strong tonal memory might be amazing at learning languages, for example.
Because they can easily distinguish and remember sounds.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh. And what about rhythm memory?
Yeah, how does that one play out outside of music?
Someone with strong rhythm memory might excel at activities that require precise timing and coordination,
Okay.
like dancing athletics or even certain types of manufacturing work.
It's fascinating how these seemingly specialized skills can actually have broader applications in a variety of fields.
Right, and that's what's so cool about this whole concept of aptitudes.
Yeah.
It's not about pigeonholing yourself into a specific career path.
It's about understanding your unique combination of strengths
Mm-hmm.
and then using that knowledge to create a life that aligns with who you are.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be exploring further in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll delve deeper into the core 4 aptitudes,
Yeah.
looking at specific examples of how they can be leveraged for greater career success, personal fulfillment, and overall well-being.
I'm already excited for part 2.
Me too.
This is definitely some mind-blowing stuff.
I know. It's a really great book. It's
Yeah.
really eye-opening.
It is, and I think it's really helpful for anyone
Yeah.
who's like feeling a little bit lost or
Oh,
stuck
you.
or just like wanting to kind of figure out what their next step should be,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I'm excited to keep unpacking it with you.
Yeah, me too.
And I think our listeners are going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned, everyone.
We'll see you next time
We'll be back with part 2.
for part 2 of our deep dive into your hidden genius.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Welcome back to our deep dive into your hidden genius.
I'm ready for more.
We're about to unpack even more insights from this fascinating book.
We've already covered so much ground,
I know, right?
from spatial visualization
Yeah,
to idea generation
Uh-huh.
and those intriguing amplifiers.
absolutely.
But there's still so much to explore.
There is.
Right.
We've only just scratched the surface of how understanding our aptitudes can empower us to make more informed decisions about our lives, careers, and
Yeah.
personal pursuits.
And that brings us to something that really stood out to me in the book.
Okay.
The idea that our aptitudes are not fixed traits.
Yes.
We can actually develop and strengthen them over time.
The book emphasizes the importance of actively nurturing those aptitudes
Okay.
through practice learning
Mhm.
and new experiences.
So it's like a muscle.
Yes.
The more you use it,
Uh-huh.
the stronger it becomes.
That's exact.
I love that analogy.
Me too.
It's so encouraging to think that we're not limited by our current skill set or knowledge.
Right.
We can always grow and evolve,
Yeah.
no matter where we start.
And the book provides some really practical advice
Okay.
on how to cultivate that growth mindset.
Okay.
One thing that really resonated with me was the emphasis on finding those hidden opportunities
Oh, yeah.
to exercise our aptitudes.
The book calls them work and leisure activities.
Yes.
It could be anything from taking an online course to volunteering for a project at work or even just picking up a new hobby.
The key is to find those activities that challenge you in a way that feels both stimulating
Yeah.
and enjoyable.
So that sweet spot where you're pushing your boundaries,
Uh-huh.
but also having fun in the process.
It's about finding those activities that make you lose track of time
Yes.
because you're so absorbed in what you're doing.
And the book provides some great examples
It does.
of how people have leveraged these work and leisure activities to nurture their aptitudes
Right.
and even discover hidden talents they didn't know they had.
Absolutely. It's like a treasure hunt for your own potential.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Okay, so speaking of potential,
Yes.
the book also dives into the impact of our aptitudes on our work approach
Uh-huh.
and interpersonal style.
Yes. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay?
Because knowing what you're good at is one thing,
Yeah.
but understanding how you like to work
Right.
and interact with others is
Yeah.
a whole other level of self-awareness.
And the book provides a really insightful framework for understanding how these personality traits
It does.
intersect with our aptitudes to influence our career satisfaction and overall success.
It's really fascinating.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Okay.
What are some of the key aspects of work approach and interpersonal style that the book explores?
Well, when it comes to work approach, the book talks about 2 main types,
Okay.
generalists
Uh-huh.
and specialists.
Okay. Those sound pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
So generalists are those folks who enjoy a wide range of tasks and responsibilities,
Yes.
while specialists prefer to focus on a specific area of expertise.
Exactly. And recognizing which type you are can be incredibly helpful for making career choices
Yeah.
that align with your natural inclinations.
Because a generalist might feel stifled in a role that requires solitary work and intense focus,
Right.
while a specialist might dread a job that involves constant meetings and collaboration.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's not about being good or bad at either approach.
Right.
It's about understanding your strengths and preferences
Yeah.
and finding a work environment that allows you to thrive.
The book actually gives some great examples
Yes.
of both generalists and specialists who have found success in a variety of careers,
Uh-huh.
like Ted Lasso,
Oh, yes.
the infectiously optimistic coach from the show.
Yes,
He's a classic generalist,
he is.
always focused on building relationships and motivating his team to succeed.
He's a great example of how generalists can excel in leadership roles,
Ah.
where they can leverage their broad skill set
Yeah.
and their ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds.
And on the specialist side, we have folks like McKenna Haas,
Yes.
the race car driver we talked about earlier.
Uh-huh.
She's a perfect example of someone who has honed her expertise in a specific field,
Right.
achieving incredible success through focus and dedication.
And the book emphasizes that both approaches are valuable.
Okay.
It's not about choosing one over the other.
Right.
It's about understanding your own natural inclinations and finding a career path that aligns with them.
So whether you're a multi-talented jack of all trades
Uh-huh.
or a laser-focused expert in your field,
Right.
there's a place for you to shine.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the other aspect of personality that the book explores,
Okay.
interpersonal style.
Okay.
This one focuses on the spectrum of extroversion and introversion
Yep.
and how it influences our energy levels and interactions with others.
Okay, now this is a topic that's often misunderstood, right?
Yes, it is.
People think extroverts are always outgoing
Right.
and introverts are always shy,
Yeah.
but it's much more nuanced than that.
It's not about whether you enjoy socializing or not.
Right.
It's about how you gain energy
Mm-hmm.
and how you prefer to interact with others.
Yeah.
Extroverts tend to be energized by social interaction,
I see.
while introverts need more time alone to recharge.
And the book highlights how this can impact our career choices and work styles.
It does.
An extrovert might thrive in a fast-paced sales environment,
Yeah.
while an introvert might prefer a quieter, more focused research role.
Exactly. It's not about being good or bad at socializing.
Right.
It's about understanding what kind of environment allows you to do your best work and feel most energized.
The book actually gives some great examples of how both extroverts and introverts
Yes.
can find success in a variety of careers,
Huh.
like Douglas Conant,
Okay.
the former CEO of Campbell's Soup.
Oh, yeah.
He was known for being an introverted leader who built strong relationships
Right.
by connecting with individuals one-on-one.
He was famous for writing thousands of handwritten thank you notes to employees,
Oh, wow.
which is a great example of how introverts can leverage their strengths to create meaningful connections,
Yeah.
even in leadership roles.
It's a powerful reminder that leadership doesn't always have to be loud and boisterous.
Right.
There are many different ways to be an effective leader,
Mhm.
and it often comes down to understanding your own interpersonal style
Yeah.
and leveraging it to your advantage.
The book emphasizes that there's no right or wrong answer
Okay.
when it comes to work approach or interpersonal style.
Right.
It's about recognizing your own unique combination of traits
Uh-huh.
and finding a path that aligns with who you are.
So how do we actually go about figuring out our own work approach and interpersonal style?
Right.
Are there assessments or exercises we can do?
The book does mention some assessments that can be helpful,
Okay.
and it also encourages self-reflection and observation, paying attention to how you feel in different work environments,
Yeah.
how you interact with colleagues, and what types of tasks drain or energize. You can provide valuable insights.
It's almost like becoming a scientist of your own personality,
I love that.
gathering data and experimenting to see what works best for you.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And once you have that understanding of your work approach and interpersonal style,
Yeah.
you can start making more informed choices about your career path, your work environment, and even your approach to teamwork.
So it's not just about finding the perfect job.
Right.
It's about creating a work life that feels fulfilling and aligned with who you are.
And that's a pretty amazing goal to strive for, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And speaking of goals,
Yes.
one of the key themes that runs throughout the book
Yeah.
is the importance of setting a course for your life,
Uh-huh.
both personally and professionally.
Right.
It's about becoming the captain of your own ship.
Yes.
and steering it towards your desired destination.
I love that analogy.
It really emphasizes the importance of agency and intentionality.
Yes.
We're not just passive passengers in our own lives.
Right.
We have the power to shape our own destiny.
We do. And the book provides some really practical advice on how to do just that,
Okay.
starting with defining your values and priorities.
Like what's truly important to you?
Uh-huh. What do you want to achieve in your life?
Yeah.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Those are big questions.
They are big questions.
Yeah. But the book encourages readers to take the time to reflect on them
Yes.
and to use those answers as guiding principles for their decision-making.
Because once you know what you truly value, you can start making choices that are aligned with those values.
Yeah.
Whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal pursuits.
And that's where the concept of unwinding the thread comes in, right?
Exactly.
It's about connecting the dots between your aptitudes, your personality, your values, and your aspirations
Right.
to create a cohesive and fulfilling life path.
The book emphasizes that our aptitudes are not isolated traits.
Okay.
They're interwoven with our personality or experiences
Yeah.
and our values to create a unique tapestry that defines who we are.
It's like those intricate tapestries where each thread plays a crucial role in the overall design.
Yes.
And the book provides some really insightful tools and techniques
It does.
for unwinding the thread and discovering those hidden patterns that make us who we are.
It's about understanding how those different aspects of ourselves interact and influence each other, and then using that knowledge to create a life that feels both authentic and fulfilling.
And speaking of fulfillment, one of the things that really struck me about the book was the emphasis on finding work that not only aligns with our aptitudes and personality, but also allows us to make a positive impact on the world.
The book encourages readers to think beyond just career success
Okay.
and to consider how they can use their unique talents and passions to contribute to something bigger than themselves.
It's about finding that sweet spot where your skills and interests intersect
Yes.
with a genuine desire to make a difference in the world.
Exactly. And the book provides some inspiring examples of people who have done just that.
Okay.
From entrepreneurs who have created businesses that address social or environmental challenges to artists who use their creativity to inspire and uplift others.
It's a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to create meaningful change in the world,
Absolutely.
and that our work can be a vehicle for that change.
And the book also highlights the importance of not letting fear or limiting beliefs hold us back
Right.
from pursuing our passions and making a positive impact.
So it's about challenging those negative thoughts and embracing a growth mindset,
Yes.
believing that our aptitudes and abilities are not fixed, but can be developed and strengthened over time.
And that's such a powerful message, especially as we navigate an ever-changing world.
Totally.
It gives us the courage to step outside our comfort zones, try new things, and pursue opportunities that might have seemed out of reach before.
So it's not about achieving perfection overnight.
Right.
It's about embracing the journey of continuous learning and growth.
Exactly.
And that's a message that I think resonates with everyone,
I agree.
regardless of their age, career stage, or aptitude profile.
Because we're all works in progress, constantly learning and evolving throughout our lives.
Yeah.
And the book encourages us to embrace that journey, to celebrate our successes, to learn from our mistakes, and to never stop striving to become our best selves.
And speaking of becoming our best selves, the book also delves into the role of social and cultural influences on our career choices, acknowledging that societal expectations,
Right.
gender stereotypes, and even our own upbringing can sometimes limit our perceptions
Yeah.
of what's possible for us.
It challenges those limiting beliefs and encourages readers to explore a wider range of career options,
Okay.
regardless of traditional gender roles or societal expectations.
So it's about breaking free from those preconceived notions and pursuing paths that truly align with our strengths and passions,
Right.
regardless of what others might think.
Exactly. And the book provides some inspiring examples of people who have done just that.
Oh, cool.
Such as women who have excelled in male-dominated fields, or individuals who have pursued unconventional career paths that defy societal norms.
It's a powerful reminder that we all have the power to create our own definition of success.
Yes.
And to pursue careers that are both fulfilling and authentic to who we are.
Absolutely. And to do that, The book suggests seeking out mentors who can provide guidance and support, building a network of like-minded individuals, and even advocating for change within our own communities and workspaces.
I see.
To create a more inclusive and equitable world of work.
It's about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Right.
Regardless of their background or gender, and where we all feel empowered to pursue our passions and make a positive impact.
Yes, and that vision of a more inclusive and equitable world is something we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dive, along with a closer look at those practical resources and advice that the book offers for navigating career transitions, embracing our imperfections, and ultimately unleashing our hidden genius.
I can't wait to dive into those topics.
Me too.
This conversation is already sparking so many new ideas and insights.
I hope our listeners are feeling the same way.
Me too.
Remember, your hidden genius is just waiting to be discovered.
Okay.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll delve even deeper into the practical strategies and inspiring stories that this book has to offer.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our exploration of your hidden genius and how it can help us unlock our full potential.
I'm excited to dive into the practical side of things.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about aptitudes, personality, and values.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put all of that knowledge into action?
That's a great question, and the book offers some really concrete advice on how to do just that.
Okay.
One thing that really stood out to me was the discussion of aptitude assessments.
Yes. The book goes into detail about the U-Science platform as a valuable tool for gaining a more objective understanding of your strengths.
So it's like taking your brain for a personalized assessment.
Exactly.
Revealing those hidden talents you might not even be aware of.
It's like having a team of experts analyze your brain's wiring.
I love that.
And create a custom report on your unique strengths and potential.
And the U-Science platform goes beyond just identifying your aptitudes.
It does.
It also provides personalized career recommendations based on your unique profile.
Right.
Helping you explore potential paths that align with your strengths.
It's like having a career counselor in your pocket.
I like that.
Providing guidance and insights tailored specifically to you.
And the book emphasizes that these assessments are not just for young people starting their careers.
No.
They can be incredibly valuable at any stage of life.
Absolutely.
Whether you're considering a career change, exploring new opportunities, or simply seeking a deeper understanding of yourself.
Right. It's never too late to gain a deeper understanding of your aptitudes.
Yeah.
And how they can inform your career choices and overall life path.
So these assessments can provide a valuable starting point. But the book also stresses the importance of combining those results with your own self-reflection and exploration.
It's about creating a dynamic interplay between those objective insights and your own subjective experiences and aspirations.
So it's about using those assessments as a springboard for deeper self-discovery.
Exactly.
Not as a definitive blueprint for your life.
And the book encourages readers to take an active role in that exploration process. By researching different industries, networking with people in their fields of interest, and even experimenting with different roles and projects to gain firsthand experience.
So it's about taking ownership of your career journey and being proactive in shaping your future.
Absolutely.
Speaking of shaping our future, the book also offers valuable advice for navigating career transitions at different stages of life.
Yes, from recent grads figuring out their first job to those contemplating a midlife career change or even retirement. There's something in here for everyone.
It acknowledges that our career paths are rarely linear.
Right.
We might change jobs, industries, even entire careers multiple times throughout our lives.
And that can be daunting, especially if you're feeling stuck or unsure of what your next step should be.
But the book emphasizes that with a clear understanding of your aptitudes, personality, and values, you can approach those transitions with more confidence and intention.
It's like having a roadmap for your career journey.
I like that.
Helping you make choices that are aligned with your strengths and goals.
It really emphasizes the importance of having a sense of direction and purpose.
Right.
Even when faced with uncertainty and change.
And the book provides some really practical tips for navigating those transitions.
Okay, like what?
Such as identifying your transferable skills, networking with people in your desired field, and even reframing your experiences in a way that highlights your strengths and potential.
It's about being proactive, resourceful, and resilient in the face of change.
Yes.
Speaking of resilience, one of the final messages of the book that really resonated with me was the importance of embracing our imperfections.
Yes, that was a powerful message.
It reminds us that we don't have to be perfect to be successful or fulfilled.
Right. It's about accepting our weaknesses alongside our strengths. Yeah.
And recognizing that those imperfections are often what make us unique and interesting.
And the book encourages readers to shift their focus from trying to be good at everything to identifying and nurturing those areas where they truly excel.
It's about playing to your strengths and finding ways to either delegate or collaborate in those areas where you might not be as naturally gifted.
So it's about being strategic and realistic about your strengths and weaknesses and finding ways to work smarter, not harder.
And it also highlights the importance of self-compassion.
Okay.
And recognizing that failure is an inevitable part of the learning process.
Yeah.
It's about giving ourselves permission to make mistakes, to learn from those experiences, and to keep growing and evolving along the way.
Because ultimately, it's not about achieving perfection.
Right.
It's about embracing the journey of self-discovery and continuous improvement.
Beautifully said.
I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree. This deep dive into your hidden genius has been incredibly insightful. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of myself and my potential.
Me too. And I hope our listeners feel the same way.
Me too.
Remember, your hidden genius is just waiting to be discovered.
It is.
All you have to do is start exploring.
And if your hidden genius sparked your curiosity, be sure to check out the show notes for links to the book, the U-Science Assessment, and other resources mentioned in today's episode.
And as always, we love hearing from you. Share your thoughts on this deep dive in the comments below. What's one aptitude you possess that you find most valuable in your life? What's one you wish you could develop further?
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.